Hey folks, how are you? This is a really impromptu setup here. This is not my studio. This is my coffee table in my living room. As proof, I do have coffee. So what I wanted to do is just a kind of a review, I have to say. I have a while back, I gotta make sure, okay. A while back, I purchased this pen online, and I really like the idea of it, but I haven't been able to get it to work the way I want it to work. I don't mean the pen itself necessarily. I just, the combination of what I want, how I use pens and stuff, and I haven't been able to get it to do what I wanted to do until recently. And so I thought I would just kind of play around with it and maybe draw a cartoon or two, and I'll tell you about what I did to make it work the way I like for it to work. So this is Osprey. Is that how you say it? Osprey? Osprey pen. And it is, so the cool thing about it is I've used nib pens, dip pens for a long time. And that's what this is. It's like, it's sort of a fountain pen that is also a dip pen. So the nib here actually comes off. You can change them out. I have a G nib in here right now. It has a cartridge, so you can put the cartridge in. This is a specialty cartridge. It has threads. It screws in. You can't just use just a regular cartridge. You have to use their cartridge. Problem number one, and not a huge problem, although I will say these cartridges are really not well made. Several of them have broken, and you have to order more. So you can't just go out and buy them. That's a little bit of a problem. However, once you get one that's working well, if you treat it carefully, I think you could get by with it. Let me tell you what I did at first that I didn't like to make it work was I changed out, and you can change out the nibs. You're allowed to do that to whatever nib that you want that fits into this, obviously. And it is made for a G nib, which I have in there now. I think it comes with a G nib. I don't normally use a G nib, so I switched it out and put in what I use, and that did not do as well in here. And so I had a lot of problems with it for quite a while, trying out different nibs, and then I just realized, hey, just put the G nib back in, and that works just great. The other problem I had was inks that I would put in, and I couldn't find the right ink to put in to work well. Inks worked okay, but not great, and some of them would dry out. I think I use Noodlers a lot. Now, Noodlers does work pretty good in here, but I want something that's waterproof, and it's hard to find. So you have to find kind of one of the acrylic dye inks, I guess. So what I did find that does work is this one right here. And this is a carbon ink by Platinum. This works really well in here. At least so far it does. Flows very smoothly. It's waterproof for the most part once you let it dry really well. So I have a good combination now, and what I thought I would do is, see, this is what's great about a dip pen is you could just kind of you could just sort of do, you could get those fluctuations in the lines, you know, and man, I do like that. So I just thought I would do a little bit of, I don't know, just a couple of little characters here. Using this pen, and you can see once you get it flowing, it actually works really, really well. All right. I think I didn't want to do the G nib at first because I couldn't get as thin lines as I normally like to get, and that's not necessarily true. I've figured it out, and I've been able to make it do exactly what I want it to do. There we go. That's just sort of a little character. I don't know. I always like my character smoking. You know what? Smoking is not bad for cartoon characters. I don't care what people try to tell you. Cartoon characters can smoke all they want. And so my characters, I like for them to smoke because I can't smoke. And so I kind of do it vicariously through them. There we go. So as you can see, there's a problem with the ink is you got to really make sure it dries. It does dry pretty good, pretty fast. I'm going to do this just to show you. That did not. Now, that was really wet down there, I got to say. So there you go. This, I will say, of all the ink that I've used in my entire life, this ink with this pen does take a little longer to dry. I'm kind of used to using a brush, and so it doesn't dry as quick as on a brush, but it dries about as quick as you would get on a nib pen if you're working. Now, here's another pen that I've got. Now, I like this one a lot. I don't do a lot of cartooning with this because it makes a line that's a little too thick for me. This is a Pentel. Yeah, you can see Pentel. And it is a brush, it's a brush pen. So it's got the brush here. It's just like a fountain pen with a brush there, which is really, really nice. So you could see you could get the you could get a lot of the variations in line even with this. But I'm an old guy. So I've been cartooning for a long time. I started cartooning in the 80s. And I'm in my 60s now. Holy crap. And so what does that have to do with anything? Well, when you get to a certain age and your eyes start kind of freaking out, like I have trouble finding out, I have trouble seeing when the point of the brush contacts the paper. So you young guys can do that, and you could get these really, really thin lines. Look at that. And that's great. But old guys like me with our glasses on, hey, I just bought a pair of magnifying glasses. They're kind of cool. Sometimes you misjudge, and you'll go in and you'll do a line that's way too thick. So that's the problem I have with the brush pen not function. In fact, I really like the function. I always used a brush when I did my cartooning strips and editorial cartoons, and so I like the really, really extreme variations that you could get with a brush pen or with a brush that you can't get with a nib. So this one you could get a lot of this. This one, see, if you could go really small, but look at that. Holy crap. So you could do that with a brush pen, and you don't really need anything else. But you gotta, I'm not saying you have to be a young guy, but if you're an old guy, you're gonna have to either have really good eyes or glasses. And my good eyes left me long ago. This guy, I am going to, let's do this. I don't know why I like to make, maybe because I just like to drink coffee, but I like to often make the guy's having a little bit of coffee there. Okay, he has some coffee. I have coffee. I'm not gonna go too far down, but there's that, and that's kind of cool. What do you think? So I recommend both of these. I have tons of brush pens. Do I have another one down close by? I did have last night. Yeah, I do. So this one I like for a lot of reasons. It tends to be pretty flexible. Now I do have this one. I haven't used it in a while. I can't tell you if, let's see. Oh yeah. So now actually this one, this is I believe a Kuretake. I think so. I don't see a brand on it, but I'm gonna go with that because I think that's all I have. So what I do like about the Kuretakes is the brush is not quite as I want to say, well, not quite as flexible, but you do see, so look, I can get a, am I still on? I can't, yeah, I am. So I can get a good thinner line with Kuretake's, I think, as opposed to the Pentel. So that's cool. So you see the quality of the line anyway, it's producing thinner lines. And I don't know if that's because it holds less ink maybe, and it's possible there's less ink in it. But I tend to think that the brush on it is less pliable, less flexible or whatever, so you don't get the extremes. You can still get those extremes, you have to push it a little bit harder on it. Right? Okay. So as you can see, this is just it's sort of a review. I like using, so I started getting into digital art, and all of my cartoons recently have been done digitally, but I'm trying to get back into doing more, what do you call it, traditional analog, I don't know what they call it, but just because I don't know, I like having the hard copy when you're done. You can always print it out, but it's still not the same thing. I like having an original hard copy. So I'm trying to get back in and do a little more. Now here's the thing, let's try these out. We're gonna try a little, see, there's a little tiny bit of ink coming off. This guy, he still feels wet. I think mostly dry though. And then this guy we just did, but still, all right, still pretty dry. So I'm gonna say, look, I highly recommend this if you're a beginning cartoon, if you're an intermediate or a pro. These are great tools. You can, if you would like, so this is also, the Uniball Deluxe Micro is also a waterproof pen. And you can do a lot of, you could do this regular kind of, I guess you do your line drawings this way. Doing this really quick here. And then after you do that, then you can come in with your brush and make some variations in your lines, wherever your shadows are going to be or whatever, if you want to do it that way. So these are great little tools to use if you're into cartooning. I would say grab a few, because they'll last a while, especially these brush pens are refillable, and you can put almost whatever kind of ink that you want. But I am really kind of excited about this Osprey pen that I finally got to work correctly. And so yeah, it's something I highly recommend if you're used to doing nib stuff. And if you just work with a regular pen, it'll give you some line variations. Depending on the size of the nib that you've got in here, you can get some variations. This is actually not bad. You could get really small, and then you can actually get a decent amount of width to it. There you go. That's all I'm going to say. I just thought I would kind of bring this up, give my review. Osprey pen, definitely worth the buy. It took me a while to figure it out, but I think I have now. And little bit of pain to clean out. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Brush pens, I don't think I ever clean them out. Every once in a while you have to run some water through them just to clean off the brushes. You can replace this brush. I had to on, I think on my little Kuretake here at one point. It got in a bad, I think I put India ink. Don't put India ink in any of these because they'll ruin the brush. But you can put some acrylic dye inks, and so they're permanent. One day, I don't have any water here, or do I? Yes, I do. Look at this. Oh, this is not, oops, sorry. You still with me? Sorry about that. Let me fix it back. Okay. So you can see that's fresh. So it's kind of smeared. But these, waterproof, my friends. All right, there's a little review for you of the Kuretake, the Pentel, and the Osprey pen, which I'm highly recommended. I think all of these have their own websites. Go there. You can get them on Amazon, I do believe. And fun to have. All right, thanks for popping in and listen to my ramble. I'm going to go back and watch Billy Joel concert. 100th anniversary concert, Madison Square Garden. I'm late. I taped it. See, I still say tape it. I recorded it. Sorry, that's how old I am. I'm going to go. All right, see you. Bye.